We believe that an effective and simple way to reduce global energy consumption and waste buildup is to eliminate or at least significantly reduce the use of plastic straws. Plastic straws have a short lifespan. In most cases, they're only used once before being thrown away, and plastic straws typically cannot be recycled. They can't be recycled because they're too lightweight to make it through mechanical recycling sorters, so they drop through the sorting screens and mix with other materials that are too small to separate and are disposed as garbage. This is an issue because plastic straws take hundreds of years to break down in a landfill. Additionally, there's an issue of plastic straws building up in the ocean. Plastic straws are among the top 10 items found during beach cleanups and poses a threat to wildlife including sea turtles, seabirds, and even fish since the plastic can break into smaller pieces called microplastics. Additionally, many plastic straws contain BPA, which is harmful to humans.
Context: one straw is approximately 0.37 grams. So in 1 kilogram of straws, there's around 2,703 straws. So for the data we use to calculate the emissions, we estimated it from the major material in straws, which is polypropylene, and from online sources from the EPA, we were able to find the 3 major fuels used to produce the straws, which is crude oil, coal, which we will assume is bituminous, and natural gas. And from the EPA, we were able to obtain the emission factor from each one. For crude oil, it was 10.29 kilograms of CO2 per short ton. For coal, it was 2,325 kilograms of CO2 per ton. And for natural gas, it was 53 kilograms of CO2 per million BTU. And converting that, and then we converted those into 0.011 kilograms of CO2 per kilogram of oil, 2.56 kilograms of CO2 per kilogram of coal, and 0.05 kilograms of CO2 per megajoule of natural gas. And from an online source, we were able to find that in order to produce 1 kilogram of polypropylene, 1 kilogram of oil is used, 0.00083 kilograms of coal is used, and 23.83 megajoules from natural gas is used. Alright, so for each contribution from each fuel towards CO2 emissions, from the oil, multiplying the emission factor times the amount of oil we use, we find that from the oil we produce 0.011 kilograms of CO2. From the coal, we produce 2.12 times 10 to the negative 4 kilograms of CO2. And from the gas, we produce 1.1915 kilograms of CO2. So that's a total of 1.2 kilograms of CO2 for each kilogram of straws. So, per straw, we find that we produce 4.4 times 10 to the negative 4 kilograms of CO2. Now, in just America alone, Americans use about 500 billion straws per day. So multiplying how much CO2 is produced per straw times 500 million, we find that each day we're producing about 221,976 kilograms of CO2. Multiplying that by 365, we get that per year we produce around 81,021,888 kilograms of CO2. Also, as for the landfill factor, since each straw is about 0.00037 kilograms, we multiply that by 500 million, which is how many straws we use a day, and then multiply that by 365 for a year, we produce about 67.5 million kilograms of straws in landfills per year.
There are many reasons that people need straws. Straws were initially used as a way to prevent disease when tuberculosis and polio were running rampant through America. People used straws to avoid contact with glass cups in order to avoid the disease and stop the spread of it. There's also young children like infants or toddlers, and then the elderly might need straws to help them if their motor skills are not developed or going away so that they can continue to drink. The convenience of driving, as more people drive around while they drink, straws are easier than taking the top off of a cap. And then there's also medical needs for it, such as people with disabilities need a straw, or someone that might have had a jaw injury that prevents them from being able to eat or drink. So other alternatives would be using like a glass straw, which if we bought 1 glass straw for everybody in the US, so 1 glass straw weighs about 0.05 kilograms. The EPA has put that in order to produce 1 short ton of glass, it takes about 0.16 metric tons of CO2 emissions. So if we converted that to kilograms of CO2 per kilogram of glass, you get about 0.17 kilograms of CO2 produced per kilogram of glass. If we bought 1 glass straw for everyone in the US, there are 323.1 million people. you would get about 18,319,770 kilograms of glass, which would mean that to produce one straw for everyone, the emissions of CO2 would be 3,114,360.9 kilograms of CO2. So that's significantly less than the amount of CO2 produced for straws just in a day. And this is a one-time use, since glass straws are reusable and can be cleaned over and over again. So the cost for 4 glass straws is about $9. So if we bought one straw for everybody in the U.S., it'd be $726,975,000. Whereas if we bought 500 million plastic straws a day, which you can get about 100 plastic straws for $6, that's about $30 million, which is less, but this is per day. So ultimately, this will be cheaper than buying $30 million worth of plastic straws a day. There are other alternatives such as stainless steel, and there are also biodegradable straws, but if they're not disposed of in the correct way, they have the same problem as straws where they don't break down. They can get disposed in landfills, so glass straws and stainless steel straws would be the best alternative.
We've come up with some ways that we can recommend to help reduce or eliminate plastic straw use in the U.S. For example, in many restaurants and states across the U.S., straws have been banned, or certain restaurants in states that allow plastic straws have voluntarily chosen to not use them anymore. We could see an extra charge being applied to plastic straws. If you want a plastic straw with your drink, you might have to pay 25 cents or something like that. Several countries across the world have done this with plastic bags at grocery stores with good results. In fact, on the topic of banning, Taiwan has completely banned plastic single-use items in the whole country. France became the first country to ban plastic in Europe, plastic straws, and they have a guideline where any plastic single-use item must be at least 50% compostable, so you can compost it at your house. This is a good legislation to follow if we really absolutely can't live without straws, or you can use the glass straws or the other biodegradable straws, as well as stainless steel.